Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and I'm picking up from where I left off in the last video. We're going to be finishing off the 27th, and we're going to then go on to the 28th, and I'm going to bring us up to date as of the 28th. Well, it is now July 29th. It is 8:38 p.m. Eastern Time, and I just realized that Q has dropped a bunch more. So I'm going to try to get to that tonight after this video, but there's no promises because it just depends on how much there is to research there. So I've got good intentions and I'm going to try, but can't make any promises beyond that. Anyway, let's get started. This is the next post where we left off, and it Q says that this is July 27th, 1313, and which is 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. There is nothing more precious than our children. Evil has no boundaries. And he then leads us to the lyrics for Slayer, Evil Has No Boundaries. That the lyrics, I'm going to go out to that now and show you. And here it is. Blasting our way through the boundaries of hell. No one can stop us tonight. We take on the world with hatred inside. Mayhem, the reason we fight. Surviving the slaughters and killing we've lost. Then we return from the dead. Attacking once more, now with twice as much strength. We conquer, then move ahead. Chorus. Evil, my words defy. Evil has no disguise. Evil will take your soul. Evil, my wrath unfolds. Satan, our master in evil mayhem, guides us with every step. Our axes are growing with power and fury. Soon there'll be nothingness left. Midnight has come and the leather's strapped on. Evil is at our command. We clash with God's angel and conquer new souls, consuming all that we can. And isn't it evil that, good gives, but evil consumes? That's always how that's something that I've always believed. But imagine writing these words and feeling that and writing it down. Attacking once more with twice as much strength. We conquer, then move on ahead. And yeah, so let's go back and see what Q has to say. Evil has no boundaries. So he's agreeing with the lyrics in this song that this is the embodiment of evil. What's spoken there within these lyrics, what's happening within the deep state, the cabal, it's the embodiment of evil. The choice to know will ultimately be yours. Now, Q has said this to us before. This is not the first time he said that. So I believe that that's true. I think that there's people that will turn, even though the truth has been presented to them. The lie is sometimes so beautiful that we fall into believing it because it's just so beautiful. The truth is sometimes ugly. If you've seen The Matrix, taking the red pill, the blue pill, they could go back to their life and everything would be like they thought it was, but it wasn't real. It wasn't real. But if they took the red pill and their eyes were opened, immediately they saw the world for what it was. And it was ugly. It was ugly and barren. And so I do think that there are people that are going to choose, like, no, I don't want to know. Give me the blue pill. And Q says these people are sick, and he's not referring to the people that don't want to know. He's referring to the deep state and to the cabal. Now, Q then gives us another link, so we're going to go out and we're going to follow that and see what it has to say. Well, I hope we are anyway. Here we go. Well, what's happening here? Reload. Content blocked. Let me go back out here. Don't want that. Hang on with me. You know I'm not perfect. Hang on. Let's see if it... Well, I don't know why it's coming up like that. That's very odd. Very, very, very odd. I wonder if I don't know. I don't know what is the deal here. Anyway, let me see what it says. CBC honcho Les Moonves will be accused sexual misconduct in latest Ronan Farrow bombshell. I wish we could see this because we need to. I don't understand why it's coming up like this. Content blocked. Let me see if I can unlock this. There we go. Sorry. All right. CBS honcho Les Moonves, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, will be accused of sexual misconduct in latest Ronan Farrow bombshell report says. Now, let me shove this down, close this, and I don't even know who this is, so forgive me. Ronan Farrow allegedly has a new bombshell report for the New Yorker. Let's take a look. CBS chairman and CEO, well, that's who he is. So I just answered my own question. Les Moonves, or Moonves, I think it's Moonves, will be accused of unwanted kissing and touching in Ronan Farrow's latest Me Too bombshell for the New Yorker, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Sources with knowledge of the article say it delves into the broader culture at CBS and will publish later today on the magazine's website, the entertainment outlet reported on Friday. Farrow's account in the New Yorker reportedly includes allegations against Moonves, 68, detailing recent claims in addition to incidents that occurred more than 20 years ago. Isn't it interesting how many heads of companies and so forth are being outed right now as pedophiles or engaged in sexual misconduct of one means or another? CBS told The Hollywood Reporter that all allegations of personal misconduct are to be taken seriously and issued the following statement. The independent directors of CBS have committed to investigating claims that violate the company's clear policies in that regard. Upon the conclusion of that investigation, which involves recently reported allegations that go back several decades, the board will promptly review the findings and take appropriate action. The company's stock took a dip following the publication of The Hollywood Reporter's story. Moonves' contract at CBS CEO was extended in 2014 through 2019, after which he was slated to remain in an advisory role for an additional 5 years. CBS did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for additional comment. Well, of course they wouldn't. The New Yorker did not immediately respond to a request for comment, and Farrow did not respond when asked by Fox News to confirm the report. Farrow won a coveted Pulitzer Prize and helped spark the Me Too movement when he exposed disgraced Hollywood heavy hitter Harvey Weinstein, as a sexual predator in the New Yorker after NBC famously passed on the story. Farrow is set to explain his side of the story regarding why NBC why NBC passed in an upcoming book. Okay. So I don't think we need to read on there. I think we're quite aware of everything that's going on and all the people being outed. But isn't it interesting for those people that believe that nothing is going on? Everything is going on. Everything. So let's continue with Q's post from July 27th. And he says, "To those who are courageous enough to speak out, we stand with you. You are not alone in this fight. God bless. Q." So I think that that's wonderful. It's a shout out to those who are courageous enough to speak out against the evil that they have observed, witnessed. Well, observing and witnessing are the same thing, but or been a part of even. So I think that this is a good thing. These things are coming out. These things are being dealt with. Whether we want to believe it or not, they are. So let's continue on to the next post, and we've got this posted by Q. It's a picture, and well, obviously it's a picture. I think you can tell that. July 27th, and it was 1:16 in the afternoon Eastern time, and he posted this picture. And if you look, we see Robert Mueller here, or Mueller. I've heard it pronounced both ways, and I go back and forth. I should just pick one and stick with it. And they're at the D.C. Airport, the Reagan National Airport. I've been there several times myself, and for plane transfers. And who is this? Well, that is Donald Trump Jr. having a casual day in T-shirt and cap. And interesting that they would be spotted at the same place at the same time. And Q makes mention of this and says, what are the odds? Q. Now, and below, I just put this as Robert Mueller in D.C. Airport, Reagan International Airport, waiting for a flight. Apparently, they're waiting for a flight. Looks like that way to me. So let's go. I did find mention of this on Fox News, and I figured that they would be the less biased report. So let's take a look at it. Alrighty, and here we have Fox News saying Mueller, or let's call him Mueller. I've decided. That's my final decision. It's Mueller. Mueller, Trump Jr., photographed waiting in same D.C. airport terminal. And there they are. Don't seem to be paying too much attention to each other, though, do they? Don't think that they're going to be good buddies anytime soon. So, a photo obtained by Politico Playbook caught special counsel Robert Mueller and Donald Trump Jr. waiting in the same airport terminal, leaving Reagan National Airport. One flight out of D.C. certainly brought awkward to new heights. Yeah, probably so. A photo obtained by Politico Playbook showed both special counsel Robert Mueller and Donald Trump Jr., the president's eldest son, waiting at gate 35X at Reagan National Airport on Friday morning. Now, and this is Ann Palmer of Politico. Mueller can be seen seated and reading a newspaper. Trump Jr. is standing against the wall on his phone. From the photo, it's unclear whether the two men are oblivious to one another or deliberately avoiding eye contact. It could be either, really, couldn't it? Because really, I think that if they did know each other were there, they would probably be avoiding eye contact, if at all possible. But while it might appear Mueller is now physically closing in on Trump's inner circle, the special counsel's office assured Fox News he didn't know the presidential son was there. If it's accurate that the other person in the photo was Donald Trump Jr., Mr. Mueller was not aware of him and had no interaction with him, spokesman Peter Carr said. Fox News confirmed that the person in the photo is the president's son. A source said that he didn't know Mueller was in his midst. Mueller is spearheading the probe into Russian interference in the 2016 and, might I add, wasting the taxpayers' money doing so, which has at times scrutinized the actions of Donald Trump Jr. himself, notably the infamous Trump Tower meeting with a Russian lawyer and others. Trump and his eldest son routinely deride what they would call the witch hunt, with the president hammering the probe again Friday morning as he denied a reported claim from his ex-attorney that he knew about the Trump Tower meeting. So there you go. Now, let's go back and continue on with what Q has to say. The odds are pretty small, though, aren't they? All right, now here we've got a series of posts, and they're one right after another, very close together. This one was at 2:53 p.m. This one was at 2:52, 2:52, and 2:51. So they're one right after the other. And what it is someone is posting device test Q, device test E Q, device test X Q, device test C Q. Now, what I feel this is I think that they were all checking in on different devices, possibly proving to us that there are more than one Q. It is indeed a team. So that's what I think that is, that they are all kind of testing that they can, you know how they routinely run a test to see if everything's secure with the board. I think that that's exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it from different devices, probably different people, because why would one person have that many devices? That's just me, but hey, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. No, really, I have. So let's go on from that, because I don't think that it's anything that applies to us personally. I think it's just housekeeping per se. So let's go on to the next post, which is, we're moving on to the 28th. We're making progress. And this is a picture. Well, I know you know it's a picture, but it's looks like possibly, well, it says Black Lives Matter, and no white supremacy, no pedo bashing, no Mike Cernovich. So we shouldn't be bashing pedophiles. We should be loving them and accepting them, apparently, as just another sexual preference. That is what they'd like to see. Of course, yeah, well, they're very sick people, like Q often says. Welcome to the No Borders, pro-pedophile, destroy ICE socialist movement, Antifa, arm of the Democratic Party. Dark to light, Q. So even though this says Black Lives Matter, apparently, according to Q, this is Antifa, which is an arm of the Democratic Party, supposedly funded by Soros. We don't have proof of that, but that is what has been said. So we will go with that Soros is the one that is indeed funding this. And it's got a lot of similarities to the Nazi movement. The flag is the same. And anyway, we'll move ahead, because this isn't new to us. This is nothing new to us. So let's go up to the next one. Now, we're going to get into some interesting things. This is July 28th, yesterday, and it was 12:48 Eastern Time. And Q is bringing our attention to a former post of his where he said the Security Exchange Commission will investigate Facebook sell-off. So he's assuring us that the Security Exchange Commission will investigate the Facebook sell-off. And he says insider trading suspected. No, really? Of course there's insider trading. Suspected, I think that it's more than suspected, because as we discussed in the last video, the man on the street would not have known enough to sell and dump his stock. 1 in every 5 people that owned Facebook stock, or 1 in every 5 individual stock, was dumped. That's huge, huge, biggest dump in history. So he says below, I forgot this line here. Peter Strzok's wife is lead Security Exchange Commissioner investigator. So how's that going to work? I don't know. I would assume she's pretty biased. Would you not? I assume she's part of the deep state. And then Q says, follow the family. And he leaves us a link. So that's what we're going to look at. Melissa Hodgman, named Associate Director in Security Exchange Commission Enforcement Division for immediate release. This was 2016. And we already know about this. I'm not going to go down through all of this, because we know this is Peter Strzok's wife, And we know that she was given this position as some sort of payoff, exchange, so to speak. But this here, I will read the first part of it. It says Washington, D.C., October 14th, 2016. The Securities and Exchange Commission today announced that Melissa Hodgman has been named Associate Director in the Security Exchange Commission's Enforcement Division. Ms. Hodgman succeeds Stephen L. Cohen, who left the Security Exchange Commission in June. Now, she will be working in the Enforcement Division in 2008 as a staff attorney. She joined, pardon me, I made a mistake here. She began working in Enforcement Division in 2008 as a staff attorney. She joined the Market Abuse Unit in 2010 and was promoted to Assistant Director in 2012. Ms. Hodgman has investigated or supervised dozens of enforcement recommendations spanning a variety of misconduct, including, okay, I don't care what she's done personally. In the past, I don't care. And we've looked into this before, but let's take a look at it again. Now, I'm going to read the rest of this, and then I'm going to add some additional information. So, Q had us look at that link, and he said think text between Peter Strzok and Melissa Hodgman. Think past settlements. They have infiltrated every senior critical position. They who? Who's he mean by they? Well, the deep state, the cabal. They've penetrated. This has been a plan of theirs, and they've infiltrated every critical senior position. Then Q says something very interesting. He says the circle. Q. Now, before I expand on what I think he means by the circle, let's go down here, and I'm going to just add a little bit more information about Melissa Hodgman. She is the Associate Director, Enforcement Division of the Securities Exchange Commission. She was promoted to her position on October 14th, 2016. She's been with the Security Exchange since 2008. She is married to the FBI counterintelligence agent Peter Strzok. They have 3 children. The two met while attending school at Georgetown University. Melissa graduated from the School of Foreign Service from Georgetown. There have been rumors swirling for years about Georgetown being a primary recruiting ground for various U.S. intelligence agencies and services. Now, let's recall in October 2016, Melissa gets a big league promotion at the U.S. government-linked Security Exchange Commission, while her husband, Peter, is neck-deep in Operation Crossfire Hurricane. Strzok and FBI attorney lover Lisa Page were planning an so-called insurance policy against then-candidate Trump. Fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, whose office some of the plans... sorry about that. Fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, whose office some of these plans were hatched in his office. Called this Justice Department cabal the small group, or the secret society. The insurance policy was the last of a 4-phase plan or coup plot. The first, completely exonerate Hillary Rodham Clinton and aides. Fabricate the dossier to damage Trump. Third, FISA title surveillance on Trump world. Final stage was the insurance policy. It would be the removal of the POTUS should he, by any chance, gain office. Of wide interest are the text messages exchanged between Strzok and Lisa Page. Apparently, they were having an affair. Well, we know that now. And sent over 50,000 texts to one another. I don't know where they were working. If they were sending 50,000 texts, when did they have time to work? I don't have time to send 50,000 texts. Do you? Anyway, they sent 50,000 texts to each other during this entire critical time of late 2016 and early 2017. Only a small portion have been made public so far. Inquiring minds want to know, do any messages reveal plans of physical harm or assassination plots? Well, we know now that they do. Now, I got this from the Great Awakening board, so I do want to give credit where credit is due. But let's go back to the circle. What do you think Q meant by the circle? Well, I think, and I just happen to, I'm not a movie person, I'm not a TV person, but I just happen to have seen this movie called The Circle. Sure did remind me of Facebook. Sure did. And it's just interesting. It's a very interesting movie. Now, possibly that's not what Q is talking about at all, but I would advise you that if you want to watch a good movie that's very timely and very interesting, watch The Circle. It was a 2017 film. Let's go take a look at the plot, see if it sounds familiar. All right, now let's move down to the plot. Okay, and this Wikipedia saying, this article's plot summary may be too long or excessively detailed. Well, we're going to read it for the most part because I think it's important for us. When her car breaks down, May Holland contacts an old acquaintance, Mercer, who is liked by her parents. Vinny has multiple sclerosis and needs the help of his wife, Bonnie. May's friend, Annie Allerton, works at The Circle, a tech company where May gets a job in customer experience. At a company meeting, Eamon Bailey, the Circle CEO, introduces Sea Change, which uses small cameras placed anywhere to provide real-time video. At work, May rises in The Circle, embracing social networking. At a further company presentation emphasizing the need for accountability in politics, the Circle's chief operating officer, Tom Stanton, introduces a political candidate who has agreed to open her daily workings to the public through Circle. May again sees a man from the party. He takes her to an area where he says that all information on everyone is kept. May becomes embarrassed as Ty is the creator of True You, a popular Circle product, and she has not recognized him. He tells her that True You has become something he did not intend. May is shown a picture of a light fitting made by Mercer in the shape of or from deer antlers. She photographs it and shares it on her Circle profile. The image attracts significant negative attention to Mercer, with people accusing him of killing real animals. Distressed by Mercer's reaction to this, May goes kayaking at night, and the rough waters cause her kayak to capsize, requiring rescue by the Coast Guard. The next day, Eamon says that the Sea Change cameras recorded her at the kayak premises and in the water, which is how the Coast Guard was able to save her. At the next meeting, Eamon introduces May to the crowd and they discuss her experience of the rescue. The kayaking experience moves her to become the first circler to go completely transparent. The kayaking experience moves her to, okay, sorry, I just read that. Which involves wearing a small camera and exposing her life to the world 24/7. May's transparency damages her relationships as she accidentally sees her parents having sex and they become distant from her soon after. At a board meeting, Eamon announces support from all 50 states for voting through Circle accounts. May takes it a step further and suggests requiring every individual to have a Circle account, which they can then use to vote. Eamon and Tom approve, but the suggestion upsets Annie. At the next company-wide meeting, May says that the Circle believes it can find anyone on the planet in under 20 minutes. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Any of this at all? It should. If you've been listening to these videos and been following Q, it should sound very familiar, as in what is happening in China right now, where they can scan through billions of people and find someone in a very, very small amount of time. So, the Circle believes it can find anyone on the planet in under 20 minutes and introduces a program to find wanted felons in the same time frame. The program identifies an escaped prisoner within 10 minutes, which causes the circlers in the audience to erupt in applause. May uses this successful test to suggest transparency can be a force for good. Now, May says the program can find anyone, not just wanted felons, and someone suggests Mercer. May is initially hesitant to use the program to locate Mercer, but Tom persuades May to continue, asking if they can break their record of 10 minutes. Mercer is quickly located in an isolated cabin where he works on his antler projects. Startled by this, he flees from the cameras to his truck and proceeds to lead those tracking him on a car chase. Not long into the escape chase, Mercer loses control of his truck and drives off a bridge to his death, which horrifies May. She is seen in bed 3 days later, still mourning the loss of Mercer. She calls Annie, who has also left the circle, to her apparent benefit. May, however, finds that connection with others helps her cope with Mercer's death. May returns to the circle despite her parents' plea. May calls Ty to ask for a favor, and Ty tells her something that he has discovered. At the next company-wide meeting, May explains how connection has helped her recover. She speaks with Iman and invites Tom on stage, then invites both Iman and Tom to go fully transparent. She explains that Ty has found all of their accounts, even the accounts that their wives were unaware of, and exposes them to the world as no one should be exempt. Iman and Tom, clearly upset, try to save face before Tom leaves the stage. May reiterates her point of transparency being good with the support of the audience. May goes kayaking again, untroubled by the drones that surround her. Very interesting. Now, I happen to think that Q is alluding to this movie. And I would suggest that if you are really wanting to know more, that you watch that movie. And it's eye-opening. It's alarming. And it's interesting because when I watched that movie, I remember thinking, that could never happen. That would never happen. It would have been a better movie if it was more believable. And look where we are in 2018. So let's go on. Let's go up to the next Q post. Now, the next one is July 28th. It was made at 12:58 Eastern Time, and Q is referring to a post by an anon, where this anon says, Q, will this still be the month the world discovers the truth? And what will we anons know? Is conspiracy no more? Now, Q responds to this and says, was the truth revealed regarding the FISA dossier? Important marker, think connections, D5. Q. Now, what's D5? Well, here are my thoughts. D5, number one, is the most severe level of an avalanche. Sorry. Now, having grown up originally in a cold country where snow is quite evident, when the snow falls and it's packy snow, like that's what we call it, packy snow. I don't know, that it probably has a better name, but it's kind of like a wet snow that packs together easily. And when you make a small snowball out of that and you roll it down a big hill, you end up with a really big ball. Now, that is in theory how an avalanche it starts with a very small snowball and it becomes catastrophic. D5 is the worst level of an avalanche. Now, it could also refer to a Casablanca chess move. Or, here's my other suggestion, maybe it's a way of saying 45, since D is the fourth letter of the alphabet, and 5, that would make 45, and Trump is the 45th president. I don't know. Maybe what this is saying after saying this was the truth revealed regarding the FISA dossier. Important marker, think connections. D5 is Q telling us here that those words are coming from the president, 45, or is he saying going to be an avalanche? It's been started. Maybe this FISA dossier, the redacted one, was the snowball that gets everything started. I don't know. I don't know, but I'd welcome your insights and in the comments below, because as you know, I'm not always right, and it takes all of us looking at this stuff and trying to decode it. So, also, what else did I say here? Perhaps this is a way of saying this is coming from Trump himself. Okay, I said that. Not. So was the truth revealed? I said not really. Not really, because we need the unredacted file. And however, I think declassification is coming soon, and the mainstream media is going to have a really hard time spinning it. That's what I think. Now, you know, like I've said before, opinions are like armpits. Everybody has a couple, and they stink, generally. But those are my opinions for what they're worth. And I will continue on. Now, this is a long one, but I think we can go through it pretty quickly. Okay. Excuse me, for some reason my nose is so itchy. Now, this is July 28th, and Q says FISA equals start. So that was the start of everything. That's the start of something. FISA equals immediate confirmation of illegal acts regarding the signers, right? So it was the immediate. It was immediately confirmed that the signers had performed illegal acts. FISA equals immediate confirmation regarding the start of the Hussein spy campaign to rig an election, and was based on false info. The FISA implicates Hillary Rodham Clinton and the Democratic Party as feeders of false info with the intent of securing mainstream media plus blast / insurance. So they were feeding false info, and that way they were basically manipulating the mainstream media, as we know, regarding the 4 a.m. drops to the media, which we are all aware of. FISA it implicates senior members of the UK, MI5, 6, SIS, US Intel, White House, 5I, Republican Party, Congress, Senate, of known corruption in efforts to retain power and rig election, plus safeguard events by political kill to act while in power, given mainstream media fake push Russia narrative. FISA equals ties the mainstream media heads, TV, behind corporation to Democratic Party, other foreign heads of state in cooperation strategy. FISA brings down the House. Freedom of Information Act does not include FISA, and we went over that before. Declassification by POTUS, key parts that factually demonstrate the dirty, fake dossier was used as a primary source to secure highest level of intel spying on primary Republican opponent, plus post-election intel assets for DOM, I'm not sure what that, domestic spying on the President of the United States for the office of the Presidency of the United States of America. Logical thinking, public awareness, FISA spying. So yes, it has brought that initial awareness of what's happened, but really, and it is, I guess to a certain extent, it is getting out to the public, but I don't believe that everything has been revealed yet. So foundation it's built the foundation for Huber. This is Q saying no spelling errors intended. He's on a mobile, so he unknown if above. So he's saying any spelling errors in the above is not intended. And he has to say that because He's often told us that everything is intentional. The spelling errors and all that is intentional. So he had to tell us that if there are any above, it was unintended, because he's on a mobile device and it's sometimes, you know how it is. Now, then, Q says, no matter what happens, the media will not push the truth. MSM implicated in highest level treason event in U.S. modern day history. Refer back to previous drops. We are witnessing the highest level treason event to unfold in the U.S. worldwide modern day history. Wow. And we are. There's never been an event of this magnitude ever in the history of the world of the history of the recorded history anyway. Have you ever witnessed so many Congress, Senate seats vacate in a short period of time? No. Have you ever witnessed so many CEO, board of directors vacate events in a short period of time? No. Have you ever witnessed the DOJ, FBI, what is known, fire, release, vacate events in a short period of time? No. Have you ever witnessed the vacating party, all positions, challenge, fight, push for the removal of the entering duly elected POTUS? No. Have you ever seen anything of this nature at all? Ever? Imagine they're all trying to remove the duly elected President of the United States. Unprecedented. Have you ever witnessed a former U.S. president travel the world ahead of the current? Which we know that Hussein did, Obama, attempting to undo, threaten, hide, cover up previous, current, illegal, corrupt, evil events? No, we've never seen that either. Have you ever witnessed 40 to 50,000 sealed indictments? Not all federal, criminal. Have you ever witnessed so many pedophile, child, EXP people? Exploitation probably, or child, pedophile or child exploitation people go down? No. Have you ever witnessed a similar like group rise up, mimics Nazi Germany with similar like logo, push, etc.? And of course, he is speaking of Antifa. Have you ever witnessed a DEF CON scare? Nope, can't say as I have. Have you ever witnessed unauthorized missiles fired? Photo evidence, with photo evidence, but dismissed by the media. Have you ever, I lost my place. Oh, here I am, right here. Have you ever witnessed political foundations receive hundreds of millions of dollars from specific terrorist sponsor organizations only to immediately cease once out of power? All during the same period of time. Nothing is happening? Question mark. Not fast enough? Question mark. Do you understand, comprehend what we are currently dealing with? People are dying. We are under threat of kill every second of the day. Those who you trust the most are the most evil. This is not a game. Humanity is at stake. No spelling errors intended. Mobile, unknown, if above. I like that. He has to throw that in at the bottom. Q. Now, I don't think that we need to elucidate on any of that. I think that it's quite clear what he's talking about, and those that have been following Q are aware of all this. But it's certainly something to think about, that we are at an unprecedented time in history and witnessing something that those before us have never witnessed. So, yeah. Those that are saying that there's nothing happening, better check. See if you're right about that. Now, this is the last video, or this is the last video. This isn't the last video. I hope it's not the last video, but this is the last post for July 28th. Then we will be on to today's post, which I have not prepared yet. So I'm not sure if I'll get a chance to post that tonight or not. It'll depend on how involved they are. But let's look at this post. And this is something that we've looked at before, and it is just a list of all the negative press, all the press that's saying it's a LARP, it's just a conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. And Q is reminding us, he posted this the 24th of July, and he's saying, all for a baseless conspiracy? Enjoy the show. And he has all of these links, which we did look at, and I don't feel any need to go and look at again because I think we're all quite aware of what the press is saying and how the press is portraying, at this time, Q. So I'm going to leave it there for this video, and I'm not sure if I'll be back tonight. I'm going to give it a good college try, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope that you guys are having a wonderful evening and that you all stay safe.